week's episode is brought to you by Tabletop Backer Party on Facebook, which is the largest board game crowdfunding group on this side of the internet. Featured this week with our sponsor, we have Cinder by Smirk.
Looks pretty consistent.
Hello everyone, welcome to I'd Back That Kickstarter with Gloryhoundd,
DrGloryhogg,
and
Greg Dixon.
Today we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff. However, we do have some weird latency issues. I don't know what the heck's going on, guys.
It's got like 5 levels and it's going from 1 to 5, back and forth, back and forth.
Hopefully it all works out though. I'm just going to just be like, hope it all works out. But I'm so happy to see you guys here in the chat.
Got Samantha, Walters, Alan.
That's right.
I saw John, our winner from our last live stream.
Petter. Martin.
Petter, I think Petter's reading Rune Lords now.
Ooh.
If it's the same Petter, unless there's 2 Petters that actually follow me, which would be interesting.
That's fantastic.
Such a common name.
What would that be called? Like a pack of Petters?
A Petter pack.
You guys also, because of all of your hashtag free Greg stuff.
He's back.
He's back.
I'm
He's
so
back,
sorry
guys.
I missed last week, guys.
This guy. Look
Oh
at
my
him.
goodness.
Rapscallion.
Yeah, I feel like a puppy
This
scritchy.
guy. Hey, what's going on, Omar?
Omar.
Lots of people
Oh,
here.
nice. We got some new faces and stuff here. I'm super excited to see you guys. All right, guys.
What are we talking about first?
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going first.
I'm so excited to talk about these Kickstarters. We got good ones. First off, we have
Cinder.
Cinder. This is by Smirk and Dagger Games. This is for, 2 to 4 players. It's going to last about 30 to 40 minutes. And this is a sort of push your luck style dice rolling game, which I'm not usually a huge fan of. However, this is all about dating dragons. And who doesn't love freaking dating dragons, guys? Like,
True. I married one.
I've been saying it since the day I was born.
She hoards things. She likes it really warm. I've married one.
oh,
She
the
sleeps
sound.
on a pile of gold.
She does.
I do.
They're gold
Quite
sheets.
frequently.
Yeah.
Quite frequently. Is our sound still working out
Petter
on
seems to be having trouble.
YouTube?
Oh, nope, he says and working.
Oh, and working. I don't know about that. So, what were
Nice,
your guys'
Samantha.
first impressions on this?
I love the idea of this. I mean, like it's Cinder, the name. It's very clever. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of
They
hand
did an
motions. I don't know why.
amazing, yeah.
But I love the theme. It's like we always say, oh, same old theme, same old theme. Like a
Unique,
dating
right?
app for dragons. Okay, they did it. This is unique. And the name, the tie-in, and everything's very clever. So, and I knew you guys had played this. I was hoping to play it before the stream, but I haven't had a chance to. So I was like, just gonna come and like sit, and listen to what you guys had to say because I want to know. I want to know people who actually played it, what they think of it.
Okay.
But I love the idea.
You haven't gotten a chance to play this one?
No, I
okay.
haven't, unfortunately.
DrGloryhogg, what were your first impressions of this game?
I have to admit, I was kind of surprised by just the theme in general. Like, I was like, why has nobody else done this before? Something that's spoofing, something that's like really relevant right now, right? And they did a really, really good job of it. I mean, I like D&D. I like spoofs in general. I like crossovers and mashups. She's not usually as much of a fan. The idea that you're, swiping left, swiping right to get these dragons, trying to date them. You're taking them out on these different dates. You're going, you're looking for your Whelp reviews to see like where you're going,
so
how many
clever.
stars it has.
Such a clever idea.
Everything about it is very, very, very punny. So I really enjoy that aspect of it, and then the way you build it. And yeah, that's my first thoughts.
And I love Smirk and Dagger too.
Yeah,
Well,
they do
oh,
a lot of cool
absolutely.
stuff.
With this particular game, they took such detail in making this, like, the whole swiping portion where you're swiping left and stuff for the dragons, and you can see them all out. And then you have to kind of match if you guys, like, are, like, have the same things, same attributes that you like and everything. And the fact that you get to pick your little, like, D&D style character and figure out if you're a hoarder or if you love
Spender.
staying at home and stuff. Like,
You like hot climates, cold climates.
every aspect of this game is just so perfectly like built out in where it immerses you in like the creativeness and the funniness of the game. That 100% is what sold me on this game, guys.
Yeah.
Like, it was funny, it was clever. It has dice rolling in it, which I don't like, but there's all these modifiers that happen, and it becomes such a fun and funny game that the dice rolling doesn't upset me at all.
Well, I think
you know?
the idea is it says it's for like the 3 beer crowd, right? Like you're 3 beers in, you're at a bar, you're hanging out with friends. It's supposed to be just a game that's fun, enjoyable to play.
Yeah.
And you can take it as seriously or as not seriously as you want. You can dress up like some people, or you can just date dragons casually. It's really up to you. What's going on, Battlecry?
Casually date
So
dragons.
it was-
But can I get into a long-term relationship with a dragon through this?
You kind
Or
of
is this
can.
just for casual hookups
No,
with dragons?
You can get in a long-term
Okay.
relationship with dragons
Okay, good.
because you can
Technically-
redate them.
Not seeing, because we had the latency issue, like not seeing, like I did this whole proposal thing to her afterwards and everything on our live stream with Game Boy Geek.
I heard it cut off early though.
Yeah, like I
It
did. I took a
did,
knee.
it
I had like a
did.
box and everything, and I was like, I've dated all these dragons, and I'm like, but you're the only dragon for me.
Aww.
And I said like, we spent all that time on don't harm me, .com, and like all these different. It was great. It was beautiful, but it got cut like the last 15, 20 minutes, so nobody got to see me win. It was just.
So John is
See you
Painful.
win.
in the comments is saying,
No
I
one knows for
adore
sure.
the theme, but Push Your Luck doesn't normally interest me, and I totally agree, but I still absolutely fell in love with this
If
game.
it's light enough, I'm okay with it, right? Like, cause Munchkin's kind of like that, but it's light, so you don't really feel bad if you don't make it. You're just going for it, right?
Well, and the whole premise behind somebody starts dating the dragon you dated, and you're like, oh my god, you can't date that dragon.
Rebound.
I just dated
Yeah,
them.
I
How
was
dare
mad.
you?
I
How
was
dare
mad.
you?
I was like, don't date. I'm like, we had it. And as you go through it too, you're like, oh, the movies worked out well. Second date worked well. Met my parents. Oh, that went really badly. And you can really kind of ad-lib and really get into it. So that's kind of fun.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a game that you get 100% whatever you put into it,
You
right?
do
Like
want to
Snake
get
Oil.
along with Dad with this one.
Well, it's like with Snake Oil or like Apples to Apples, where it's really the fun comes
Yes.
from you
The
more
group.
than the actual game
group
itself,
brings the
right?
fun.
So the right group, you can just have a blast with it.
I think that's often the case with Smirk and Dagger games too. I think of like
Yeah.
Dead Last and stuff. Like with the right group, their
Right.
games really soar, but they are sometimes more group dependent than other companies'
Yeah.
games.
Jenny approves, says Alan. That's right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jenny won.
We played
Weird.
with Alan and Jenny when they came to Arizona, and it was so much fun. And that was just getting on the table for kind of the first time. I had read the rules, and
Yeah.
I was like, let's
That was
try
my
this
first
out.
time.
Working through it together.
Right, and I loved it right from the beginning. It was so adorable.
I like the art.
Oh, the art is fantastic on it. And guys, this game is not funded. Like, how is this game not funded?
I think we have two that are not funded on this
Yeah,
week.
we do. We do.
I'm,
Like shockingly, right?
yeah,
I
shockingly
thought this one would have funded super early.
surprised that this is not funded.
Smirk and Dagger is one of those game companies that I think consistently puts out good stuff, but it feels like they just haven't like broken through. Like there's like the mainstream.
Well, this is also their first Kickstarter, so that's
Yeah.
Oh.
that might hold some people back. They've never done Kickstarter
What?
before.
I didn't realize
What
that.
about the Menace Among Us? That wasn't a Kickstarter, was it?
No, this is.
No?
It said this was their first Kickstarter. So we
For-
played it at 2, and we played it at 3. Well, so we played it at 2, 3, and 4. And I
like
liked
the
it
other
all
notes,
because
yeah.
it doesn't really matter. The fun comes from from what you're doing with your character and everything.
Yeah.
So you guys sound like you're big fans.
Oh.
Like
Yeah,
I
it's a good
came
game.
here to learn from you guys on this one because I knew you played it and I
Yeah.
had
Well,
it. So.
and then you
and
have-
Alan, of course. I want Alan's.
And
feedback.
then you have this advanced sort of game here that they're working on where
Those are confidential
right,
cards.
you have confidential cards, which if you play this a lot and stuff like that and you go back and forth with things, you can always have like this special hidden goal that you can earn extra points off of. So not everybody knows who's going to be the end winner.
Yeah.
Once you go through that first playthrough of kind of wrapping your head around the game and how everything works and teaching it to everybody.
And that's very true because like when we played it on stream, like I triggered endgame, but then there was still one more round. And when we started adding up, when we added in our confidential goals, everybody was above 21 points, which is usually what you need to win. So everybody was above 21 points, and like mine gave me 12, Game Boy Geeks gave him like 8 or 9, I think hers gave her like 10. There was like definitely a
Oh
big
my goodness.
upswing
it
from
made, it
that.
made a difference.
I didn't even see this adorable tray.
Oh yeah, there's a tray and a playmat if you go for like the deluxe.
Oh, that's so adorable. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. No, everything in it is
Oh.
good. And if you keep scrolling down, I mean, it's endorsed by really good people. I mean, some
Is
of the
it?
best people have reviewed this and played it live. It's got a Dice Throne crossover.
Oh,
I'm in
that's
for that.
awesome. Oh man.
Yeah, it is. the
I
end
need
of the
more
month
of
and
this,
people are
guys.
broke. I figured though that for Valentine's Day, so these are
Well,
the things,
it's been
right?
on for a
Do
couple
you
weeks
put
now,
it,
right?
So it started Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
these things do better if you do them on the holiday that you're kind of gearing towards, or like ahead of, so that people
Or should
can
it
get it
end
before?
on the holiday? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, or should it come out like
Oh,
ahead
you
of
mean
time?
like months before? Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is $25. I mean, it's $25, guys.
Oh my
Like,
God! Look at that amazing playthrough.
oh my gosh, what? We could actually just watch this playthrough right
Let's just
now.
watch it right now.
That's
That's the rest of our show.
playthrough
Let's cut to
seems
the clip, kids.
really amazing. I recommend that you guys go ahead and watch it.
Yeah, that one we did have some technical issues, but at least everything uploaded.
Everything looked
And
good.
you just lost the last 15 minutes of me winning. But that's cool. That's cool. I'm not better.
I totally won.
I don't think anyone really knows whether or not you won or not.
I know. We don't even keep score.
It's alleged.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
All right.
But yeah, I am surprised that it hasn't funded.
Greg, would you back this?
Well, there's a copy floating around here in Arizona, so I'm going to play it.
It's literally in the other room.
Yes, and then I will back it if it's good.
Okay, that's fair.
How dare you,
I mean,
Greg?
I say try before you buy, but I actually have the opportunity to try before you buy this time, so I'm going to do it.
Okay.
But no, I like the idea of supporting Smirk and Dagger. I think they're a good company.
Yeah.
And like I said, I feel like they just fly under the radar a little bit, but I think they consistently put out good stuff.
This is something I feel like if it was in
So
retail,
I kind of want to just support them. Yeah.
So I'm actually, because Kickstarter does typically lean more towards hobby gamers, right? Unless you've got something like Here to Slay and you're posting it a bunch on Facebook and YouTube, and your T-Turtles backing that one, right? So they had a lot of advertisements. I saw it all over Facebook all day long. So that's how you get the casual gamers, right? I think if this was in retail, this is something I could see being at the game store, looking at me like, what is this? And picking it up and being like, wait, we're gonna date dragons, and then just grabbing it, right? Because it's not an expensive game either.
No.
So it's like, I feel like this is something that if they don't fund for whatever reason, or they relaunch, I hope
they print it.
I hope they still print it, because I just feel like people are gonna pick it up.
I want all the cool stuff that they had planned. Like, I want extra character cards and stuff, because right now I've played as that orc girl like every single time, because I just love the fact of like an orc girl running up to dragons and being like,
the Rico Suave guy.
We want to pillage together. I need a dragon that will pillage with me.
I played as Rico Suave over there in the bottom, and then I played as the dwarf, and they were all good.
So, DrGloryhogg, would you back this?
Yeah. I would definitely back it.
Oh,
We've got a copy of it, but I would still like to get the final version.
No, I want the final version of this, guys. I'm going to back this game. I'm sold. Like, this is the game I'm going to break out to new gamers, parties that I go to. Like, the premise of it is so funny and introduces people to this RPG-style theme. You can do a sort of role-playing if you want to throughout the game where you're acting as those characters. You can get in-depth as you want into the game, or just have it as a fun dice rolling style game.
Did you see what Martin said? Which he probably hit the nail on the head there. Smirk and Dagger just doesn't have the advertising presence that some of the other companies do. So if it was like a Gray Fox game or something, it probably would have already funded with a little bit more of a rabid fan base, right? And I think that's probably true. If this was Tiny Epic Cinder, it probably would have funded.
Oh, absolutely. It'd be crazy funded.
So, and John says, honestly, I may buy it if I found it in a store, but I'm hesitant for some reason.
I can understand that.
That's a really interesting thought. Like, what separates it? If you saw it at a store, you're like, oh, this looks really funny, and you read the back of the box, and you're like, oh, that's hilarious, and then you buy it. Or why are you more hesitant with Kickstarter on this particular thing? That's
I'm
interesting.
more risky in person, because I feel like I can pick it up. I'm just like, oh, why not? Or like on Kickstarter, I feel like I want to be getting something kind of unique or different or something exciting, and this is all those things for me. But I can see like in retail, sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'll pick up an escape game, or oh, that's $20, I'll pick that up.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do.
I can just see picking it up
This
on the
is
fly.
like 3 Chipotle burritos worth, okay? So if
bad.
you want a
One
date night, if you want a date night, you don't go to Chipotle, okay? On that date night, you play this, you stay home, you make $2 spaghetti, okay?
Instead.
And you have spaghetti, you set up some candles and stuff, and then you date some dragons for the night, okay? Like, that's what you do. Right? One Chipotle, like, couples meal, okay? That's it. That's all you have to do. Just don't eat out once, guys.
Just once.
Oh, I like Charity Board Gamer's thought here. Smirk and Dagger should collaborate with Thunderworks and do like a Cinder role-player crossover.
I like the fact that they got Roxley to do the Moon Elf for one of the characters.
That's what I thought that was really cool, too.
And I would imagine that if it was doing better, like, that they would have more
I want more stuff. I want more stuff, guys.
Yeah, this one seems like a simple back to me. It's just like, especially if you don't have a lot of these types of games, it's just something fun, unique to have. It's something you can just kind of play while you're hanging out with your friends. You could play it with your mom.
Guys.
To mess around and be like, Mom, would you date this dragon? And it would just be funny.
I have a secret to tell you.
What's that?
This is my #1 for the week.
Really?
Yeah, this is actually my #1 for the week because I had so much fun playing it and acting it out. Yeah, guys. Like, I was surprised as well when I looked down the list. I was like, yeah, like, this is the one for me this week. Yeah,
we've got some pretty big heavy hitters.
Which is usually not the case, like, at all. This is completely not in my alley of games that I usually go to.
Thanks, Calvin.
What's your level of excitement for this week? Like, as far as ones that you're super excited about, like how many out of the 4?
I am excited about this one, but there's another one I'm a little bit more excited about.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
All right. Well, I'm gonna back this. Woot Cat Rider. I agree.
We can
Number
double back
1.
this. I can see backing this and giving it to your mom.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
that'd be
maybe
really
Stocking
cool.
stuffer.
And even like my
Right.
mom for the holidays, if it comes in time and everything.
We end up doing that with some of the games that are not as much money. We end up purchasing them throughout the year, and then
Yeah.
on holidays we'll end up giving away because we know that they're good games. And then
Like
we
Just
have
One,
Yeah.
Tattoo Stories.
Yeah.
We gave those out this year pretty much to friends. Finger Guns was another one.
Right.
People that are just more casually into the game and stuff we can play during the holidays with bigger groups and stuff.
All right, next up, guys. Next up, we have Gruff by Studio Woe. This is for 1 to 4 players. This has cooperative modes. It has versus modes. It has, single player mode as
there's
well?
one
Solo mode?
I could tell you all the modes.
Oh my gosh.
Because I looked them up.
Okay,
And the solo mode's designed by, I can't remember who it was now, but like a really well-known designer.
Well, I have a lot to say about this, so you
Okay.
just let me know when you're ready.
okay. Well, Greg, what
Well,
were
this
your
is
first
kind of like
impressions?
the last one where I was hoping you guys were like in on this, because this is a series of games, and they've completely like gone past me. I've never tried any of them. So I was hoping you guys were like invested and knew about this world, because I wanted to hear, first of all, you know, what's it all about? Is it really good? Is it as good as it looks like it might be? And secondly, why isn't it funded then if there's like a series of games and they've got like a built-in fan base that keeps, I would assume, coming back for more games?
It'll fund.
Okay, so first off, I have to say on this one here, the saddest thing that happened, I think, in Studio Woe is the fact that when they just came out with the original game, Tom gave them a really bad review because he didn't like the art in this game, guys.
Oh.
So
yeah,
I
that
think
did tank. I forgot about that.
really set the premise of where they hit in
I
the
didn't know
community
that.
because it was really early on, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
when Dice Tower was the only thing out there that you could see and review and
Sure,
look at.
And
Aussie Solo Gamer just came on. Oh, I was just saying hi to Aussie because it's
Oh.
like crazy Australian time. I don't even know what it is. So here's the deal with Gruff, guys. Our first BGG, right? It's a board game geek convention we went
Yeah.
to. We ran across Brent, the guy who created it, and it's him and his wife. They do all the art. It's pretty much ran by 2 people, as far as I know, just those 2. And we ran into him, and he had this game, and I am a huge Magic player, right? Like I played until 1 a.m. last night. Probably played 15 rounds or something crazy, right? So I play Magic the Gathering a lot. This is the only card game that I own that I've kept. Because most of the time I look at them and I go, hey, Keyforge is cool, but I own Magic the Gathering. So I took all 8 of my Keyforge decks and I resold them.
Wow.
I was like, hey, I got this cool drafting game. It's good, but it's not as good as drafting Magic the Gathering. Oh, here's this other game, Doomtown. Oh, that's good, but now it's discontinued. If I'm gonna play a game, am I gonna play this or am I gonna play Magic? I would just play Magic. And I've got pretty much a bunch of different things for Magic, right? Different ways of playing it. This game is the only game, and I've got it here. Here's my copy. We got it signed. We liked it so much. This is the only card game that I own that is a Magic style game where you can play against each other and stuff that I still have, and I bought everything for. We have every single thing that they've ever done at Kickstarter. We have all of it, every single pack of cards. The essential premise is you got the 3 Billy Goats Gruff, that kind of kid's tale, right? The 3 Billy Goats Gruff with
Yeah.
the troll under the bridge and all of that. That happens. They take out the troll, and then you've got these farmers, right? And they're like these shepherds, and they're on other sides of the bridge, and they decide, like, these goats are pretty good at fighting. Like, why don't we just fight these goats? And then so they start mutating them, and they start adding like mechanical attachments to them. They get really freaking weird. Super weird.
I love the fact that those are the aspects, though, on the
Yes.
goats. They're like, stuff
Weird,
is weird, and they have
fat.
fat, you know,
Yeah.
because they're big.
Yep.
And what was the other aspect
It's
of it?
weird, fat, and then your character goes crazy the weirder your goat is.
Right? Because when your goats start getting weird, then your character's like, oh my god, it's getting freaky in
And
here.
then it gets better. And they all have clans, right? It's like
Such a weird premise.
this is probably
It's
hard
hilarious,
to see,
though,
but
right?
It is.
the way this box is set up is your character cards are just big enough that they act as dividers in the game box itself. Oh, there we go. Acts as, yeah, you do
You
it.
gotta tilt it.
They all have different clans, so there's Grendel. So you can pick up like 3 Grendel, and then you just take
Oh,
the pack and you
Fluffy.
take 8 of the cards. They get very interesting. And this was the base set, right? This was the very first one we got. You can see how it's cool. Like I'm sorry, this is really bad. They separate everything, and I really love the thought that was put into this game. You've got 3 rows. The goats fight against each other. The really cool thing is when you're fighting, if Greg attacks me here on this left side, his attack is kind of suspended right before I take my turn, so I can quickly dodge out and switch another Gruff in
Yeah.
to take the blow,
Yeah.
or like try to counteract it, or do all these crazy things. And you've just got these super freaky goats that have tentacles or spit pus or just do all kinds of stuff. Breathe fire. You know, they're all rotted out. They're like ready to go. They do all these really cool things, and they have all these different clans, and it's a lot of fun. If you can't tell, I'm actually really, really into it.
DrGloryhogg's very pumped about this, guys.
I have downloaded like the PDFs to like color these things. Like, it's ridiculous. I love it. This game is so good. It's just not in a lot of stores.
So here's the thing. So John says this one picture looks so complicated with all the different points trackers on the cards, and it turned me off.
Oh.
It's no different than like a Tiny Epic series thing where you have the cubes on there. It's just keeping track of how they're getting hit and stuff.
All of it is, so if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, I'll just grab an actual character here so I'm actually talking about what I'm talking about here. So your mean, that you see, that you're keeping track of, is just your attack, and it can go up or down. Your fat is just going to be like your defense, which can go up or down. And then your weird is just like different things you can do with the cards and everything else, and it's going to be the more things, like if you keep mutating your goats and making them like weirder and weirder, then your shepherd gets more powerful. And then as the game goes on, you keep getting more and more crazy, and then you can use all that crazy to play these powerful spells that cost like 14, 15, 16
Essentially,
points.
though, it is a game where you pick a couple of different styles of goats. You put them together.
Clans.
Yeah, you put them together, and then you play with those on a field of battle. And you're going to be having 3 main goats out, and then you're playing cards from your hand to kind of influence things. And then you attack, and then the other player tries to defend by moving their goats and playing cards and stuff.
Yeah.
So
you
the
always
premise
have a chance to react.
Yeah, the premise of the game is very simple, but it's kind of a tactical card game, though, because you really have to figure out which row you're moving your
because you can only
goats
fight in your
into.
lanes and defend in your lanes.
Right.
So it's not just a free-for-all like, oh, I've got 15 creatures. And you start off with 3 too, so you never get in that weird situation where you're like, all I have is a bunch of lands and I can't play any of my creatures, or oh, I have a bunch of creatures but no lands.
Right.
You always have your 3 goats out. You start with that, so you get to go. Going in that you've got good stuff, and you play with like a 24-card deck.
Each
so
box,
you get to see most of your cards.
Each box is a standalone, and except for the Trolls, I think the Trolls one was an expansion where that one was like a cooperative sort of thing. But this box is a standalone game, so you can go ahead and do that.
You can start right here.
I thought it was really interesting that they were offering this $1 deck. They might be sold out of them already.
Well, that was just to get people.
It was like a little promo deck
which
that you could just try out, which is
1-on-1.
kind of cool, right?
I can get that, Mark, if you like Magic. I will honestly say, though, it's more casual. It's probably better to compare it to something like a Keyforge, because everything you need is on the cards. You're not looking through 30 or 500 pages of text. There's not a million different attributes. There's only so many things they can do, but it's really in a fun way, and you just get to mash your kind of guys together and play.
So Alan's saying, okay, Dr. G is amazed, and that usually gets me pumped, but the campaign page is very little insight as to what the heck this is, and I agree.
I felt the same way.
I feel like this was not a strong campaign page for them. They usually... I mean, they needed something better on here. It doesn't discuss anything.
Even the starting video, just the guy like, hey, here.
They just
this is my game. I'm excited about it. You're kind of like, really?
So here's the deal. It's 2 people. It's a husband and wife. They're both artists. They both work and do art for other things, right? He does like a lot of graphic art. She does more art like this.
Yeah.
So they're kind of introverted, right? Like even meeting him in person, you're like, hey man, he's like, oh hey, what's going on? It's been a while since I've seen you. Just very quiet, not like me, right? So the art's amazing. It's all done by his wife and him, and it's mostly done by his wife. Does most of the character creation, and then he made the actual game. It is just, I would say go for it. Give it a shot. They've done, and this is also like their 5th campaign. So that at this point, they kind of feel like, oh yeah, this is just going to expand on other things we've done. It's standalone, but you can also add it to the other stuff.
Right.
And so I guess they kind of felt like this was enough to get people going.
Yeah.
And they've had some campaigns that have been like 60,000, some that have been like 10,000, kind of varies in there. But they're just really, it's a really good game. I just think that the promotion is not where it needs to be for Kickstarter into 2020.
Oh, absolutely
Kickstarter
not.
2015,
Absolutely not.
Not a problem. This stuff is clean. I messaged him. I said, hey, can I get some art? And he, same day, started sending me art. Like at 12 o'clock at night, he was like, here's the art you need for your page. Go ahead and post it. Like, he's responsive. It's just, but it's 2 people, and that's the problem.
Alan says, right now, the $1 base pledge, boom.
So Man vs. Meeple did a video that kind of goes over how to play it with the Rage of Trolls expansion one, which was like the 2 before this. I'm just going to say, the ways you can play it, you can draft this. You can play it 1 versus 1. You can play it free-for-all. You can play it 2 versus 2. You can play it cooperative against the troll, which is like kind of playing against it. The troll has like an AI. there's just so many different ways to play. It's got like all the different modes that people enjoy, like in Magic the Gathering and those types of games, those collectible card games.
Yeah.
But it's compartmentalized. Like, honestly, I could play with just this and never be bored.
So there's no like building ahead of time. You just start playing, or do you have to like create?
So it's got 8 starter cards for each character.
Like Smash Up,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you just grab
You can just
decks
grab it and be like,
you put
you're
them
off and
together,
running.
and then that's
Okay.
it.
Well, kind of. So
Well, you pick that, and then
so you pick your 3
Shepherd.
goats, and they have like, I think they each have like 16 cards, and you only play with 8 from each.
Oh, okay.
So
So
they
you
have
can
to
pick
go through
them
the
out.
pick
the 8 for
But
each
they have
goat.
8 with stars on them that are like your stars cards.
Sure,
you could just
sure.
throw in,
So they
right?
build that in
But then if
for
you want
news.
to, for people that want to keep
For
playing and
news.
stuff,
Well, people haven't played it before. I mean,
right, there are extra cards, and then you can actually like some of the cards that you can get now can mix factions and stuff. If you want to know what's new on this, what's new is usually you want to have this. You want to go super crazy, right? Because then you can do these really powerful cards. But this one allows you to do stuff that actually hurts you for super crazy. So like Madness Matters.
Okay.
So if you're over here at like 20, like craziness, I can just use one of these sanity cards and just make you like I can make it really hurt you for being later in the game. So it's better. It's good mid game, but it's also much better at the end game. And then you also have the sanity thing where you can do really powerful things, but it makes you more sane. So it's going to limit you what you do on your future turns, which is kind of interesting, which is stuff they've never had before.
Okay, so
yeah, so they're adding some new mechanics here.
Calvin says the art is cute for Gruff, but DrGloryhogg is doing a better job at promoting this game than the Kickstarter
Seriously,
page.
they need a clip of this just as the video for this page.
Well,
and
it is what it is. It's
There are
tough.
so many AAA Kickstarters right now sucking
Yeah.
all of the oxygen out of the room, 100%. And I think that's what happened to this particular campaign, is the fact that the standards for Kickstarter have been upped so much that something like this just does not get to that level of being.
I'm curious how many
noticed.
backers they've had on prior campaigns.
They've always
Like, are they
always been successful.
are they keeping their core audience, or are they losing some of the core audience as well? Is what I'm curious about with this one, because
So I don't think they're-
249 does seem, because the Kickstarter's been going for at least a week or two, if I remember right.
Yeah, it hasn't been going super long. It just started last Tuesday.
Okay, so
This
249
was not
seems
something
small.
though. This was not something though that I received an email, I think, for. You know
So
how
maybe they're
some
having a
people
hard
go back to
time-
their Gruff campaign,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I know about it because I follow Studio Well, the company,
Right.
right? Because I've purchased some of this art, and I've got a Gruff pen that's like an enamel pen, and then we've also got like that Nautilus pen I showed off on my Instagram page. That was actually by them.
So
like I've got some of that stuff from them, so I follow the page, and that's how I knew about it. It's the marketing, and don't let the marketing fool you guys. I wouldn't tell you it's a good card game if it wasn't a good card game. I put thousands of dollars and hours into Magic, and if I can tell you this is one that I would play this happily over Magic, like vice versa, I could swap in between them. It's good. I don't
okay,
even know how to
so
explain
as
it
far
better
as
than that.
card games go, this one is certainly more different and more interesting than some of the other ones. Like, it's not going to be like other card games that you play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense at all, Greg?
I don't know if I'm following you.
Okay, so like, what would be a good card game for comparison?
Well, you could say like Keyforge, right? Because
Right.
like you
Yeah.
just mash
I'd
the
rather
deck
play
together.
this than Keyforge because
rather
I
play it
felt
than
like
Smash Up, it sounds
yeah, I'd
like.
rather play it than Smash
We
Up.
sold both of
Is it
those.
similar? Is it?
And it's not similar to those, but it's still a card-based
Yeah.
game.
Is it worth comparing to like Shards of Infinity or Terrors
No,
of London?
only because those are deck
Those are
builders.
deck
Those are
builders,
deck building, yeah.
It's
And this
similar
is all
in weight.
upfront.
I would say it's similar in weight to like a Keyforge or an
Yeah.
Ashes
Okay.
or a Netrunner. It's very similar in weight.
Yeah.
That way it goes. But it can be as complex or not as complex as you want, because you really can just take the starter cards and start playing by going, these 3 goats look cool, and then you play cards on them, and you're like, I'm going to make Old Tooth even fatter, and you up her fat.
I do love that the fat is their defense. Like
Or
the
you can-
weapons just bounce off.
Right, or you
of
get some like weird
the
ones,
blubber.
like the Pestilence ones.
I would be very. I'd be
Here's the other thing,
tank
guys,
in the
that
game.
the last campaign was stuffed. So all of the Gruffs were stuffed. They were all stuffed animals. And then the Shepherds, instead of being like these crazy, like, barbarians and stuff, were kids.
Just playing with
they
their
were all
toys.
Kids.
Yeah.
They were just kids playing with them. And they all mix. But, you had the Shydra, which was like a Hydra, right, with multiple
He's all
heads.
shy.
Yeah, it was multiple heads, but it's stuffed. It's like
You
one of the
didn't do
heads.
very good on Cinder.
So like one of the eyes is a button that's like kind of hanging because it's like much loved from a kid and everything. So there's so many different ways to play it. And
It
I
definitely seems like a real labor of love for this
It
couple.
is 100%.
And the fact that they keep coming back to it. And,
Well-
I mean, they could make a new game, but
Yeah.
they keep coming back and adding to this one. They're
Even-
clearly really passionate about
And
it.
I actually, for anyone in Arizona, I saw Gruff in the Gaming Goat. So, like, it's available
Oh,
in.
really? It's for
so
sale?
actually, Gaming Goat's all over the U.S. So it's for sale
That's
in
a
Gaming
shame.
Goat. I've seen it there, at least in Arizona. I haven't seen it in a lot of other ones.
I've seen it, like,
I think
Imperial
they need,
Outpost.
what they need is they need a DrGloryhogg to be out there being like, this is how we do this. I mean, honestly, they
Seriously.
They don't market it well. It's 2 people. This is exactly what Kickstarter's for. I love CMON, and I'm a big fan of CMON. Kickstarter's not for them. No. This is what Kickstarter's for. This is a company that literally will not make this card game if it doesn't make another $1,000. Like, that's it.
I think they're fun. I think they'll fund. I mean, they've got 2 weeks left almost. They're like
no, they'll fund.
They're like 1,200 away.
I'm at the point where, like,
but I think you're like thinking like, oh, this deserves to be a $50,000 campaign, not a $16,000 campaign.
John says, breathe, Dr.
I know,
Gloryhogg.
he's so excited.
It's been rough.
There's
well, because you know
love.
how good it is.
It's
and
really
you're like,
good.
It's frustrating when something you're passionate about just isn't connecting.
Like Gruff is on my 10 by 10. I'm like, I'm gonna get this to the table more often. And the only thing is, like, I always wish I could play it more. It's always like, I'm like, oh, I wish I could play more. This has like a big box that fits everything. I have every single expansion. I've got pins. I've got arts. Like, I just really,
he has Gruff underwear.
Really love Gruff, and they're such nice people.
Yeah, I've seen them at PAX, and we've seen them at BGG Con and stuff like that.
Omar's like, can we get him a drink?
How do you guys curate the Kickstarter list for Friday? I believe Dr. Gloryhogg said he creates the list and then Gloryhoundd pares it down to a few. Does Greg have any influence on the list?
Of course not.
Heck,
no, he does.
No.
They bring me out of the closet right before we stream.
Well, so
they take the blindfold off.
It's not like we never talk to you, right? He doesn't come out just for this. So he'll mention, like,
we came
hey,
together and hang out all the time. Yeah.
Have you done this game, or have you heard about this Kickstarter? So in that way,
that's part of why I also think, just to kind of a little peek behind the curtain, why more often than not, you guys are more excited about a higher percentage of the games because you picked them, and then I'm just sort of coming in as like a third party to go, okay, here's another take.
Right.
To be completely clear though, when I pick them, I go, oh, here's an abstract game that Greg will
like this one.
Or I go,
like this one.
Here's a roll and write. I'll put this on because Kat will probably like, and so on and so forth, right? Like, I do that.
But it does make me look like grumpier than I actually am about games because like I don't have any. Not that I don't have any input, but I trust you guys to pick good games and to stay. You know, you're better at sort of keeping it on your radar and finding stuff that's worth talking about.
We are in different areas of our gamer lifespan, right? Like, we're still fairly new. Like, we're like, we're more than 5 years in, but we're fairly new. We're still collecting rapidly. We'll still go down to Game Depot and buy 6 games.
Yeah.
You don't.
I try not to, but sometimes I do.
Right, you do sometimes. But
no, I hear what you're saying.
And you've got connections to get stuff for cheaper. So, I mean, it's really hard to justify getting this if you could pick up something like, if you could just get a copy of something for $5-10.
I'm kind of glad they asked that.
Okay, so we have, is the solo mode with this expansion or in the base game?
Oh, good question. I don't even remember anymore because I have.
You don't do a lot of solo stuff anyway.
No, I typically don't, and I have so much.
I would think the solo mode is probably with the trolls portion of it, just because. That might have been
when they delved into it.
Just because the trolls portion of it is where the shepherds are fighting something else as opposed to fighting the other players on that. Okay.
Right.
Hey, Stephanie.
Calvin Brooks says, I love 2-player fighting games, Exceed, Battlecon Guardians, Plaid Hat, Crystal Clans, Yomi. Then you would probably end up liking this game.
Sounds right up
it
Calvin's
is.
alley, man.
Absolutely. And
it's a good game. It's stupid good.
After all of Dr. Gloryhogg's excitement of running out of his chair here, basically bursting out
through
the camera.
Don't say I'm backing this. He's going to have a heart attack. And
Would you back this? For $1.
Yeah, for $1, absolutely.
Well, right there. They have
$1.
They may still have dollar pledges left.
This is just like the last one. Like, here's a copy, basically. I'm gonna play it, and I'll decide. I mean, it's like the last one. I
have like 3 long boxes like this, and then 2 small boxes.
Yeah. So I'm excited though. I have to admit, I'm excited more now than I was going into it because I think I had all the same reservations a lot of people in the chat have had. Like, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. Why isn't this funded? You know, all that kind of stuff. So
I feel like this is one that if I played with you, you'd really enjoy. I don't know if it'd be one that you'd go into because you don't typically play these style of games as much.
Right.
But I bet you if we sat down after this and played that you'd be like, okay, that was good.
Yeah.
Dr. Gloryhogg, would you back this game?
Yeah.
Robert's like, why back it when he has it?
So
I always say that, but
if you guys want to honestly know something, I was talking to Brent, the guy who created the game, right, the team, and he was like, do you guys want a review copy? And I said, if you want to send us a review copy, we'll try to play it. But I'm like, I'm going to back it no matter what. I have a very strong personal attachment to this game. It's a small company. This is what Kickstarter's for. And I feel like even though I could just straight up get a review copy, I would be doing it injustice by not backing this game.
Okay. So, as for me, I would love to back this game. This game here is a standalone game, so if this is your first introduction to the game, you can have a full box of stuff. You don't have to get anything extra, and then you can play it with other people, okay? This is also something that you can expand on, so if you really end up liking the game and stuff, then there's other factions in other boxes that you can end up playing.
Definitely.
So it's definitely expandable and stuff.
And this comes with an AI monster, too.
And I absolutely love the fact that they have a $1 pledge where you can get a sample demo deck. That, I don't think I've seen that done.
No, not
That's
really.
a great idea.
You know, because
they just want more people to play.
those are sample decks that you could get, and then you and your friend could get, and then you could try it out for $1. And this is a smaller creator. Like DrGloryhogg was saying, these are not big Asmonday
No, this
people.
isn't their full-time job. He has a full-time job.
This is a
doing
passion
stuff.
project for a couple.
Right, it's a passion project for a couple, and they do put out really quality content. These boxes are amazing. The art is amazing. I really enjoy the art in this game because it is so weird, but also like weird and cute at the same time. And we have several things where they have like the art pieces or coloring book pieces and stuff like that I've gotten from them. So this is a must back for me, absolutely. Just because, I mean, we've been following them for quite a while now, and we haven't been tired of their game.
Right.
Like, we keep backing them, you know?
Which says something, because there's other game companies that were like, okay, I've got enough of this, I'm good.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, you know?
Come on, Marvel United.
Speaking of,
Is that next?
This
is the one everyone came for.
It is, but like, if you could spend $30 to get like the Guardians of the Galaxy pack, you could get a whole game for $30. That's good. Actually, a good
I
card
think
game.
we're gonna feel already where you stand on this one.
All right. Oh, John says, I wonder if this is DrGloryhogg's number one.
It is.
He's gonna go on a 30-minute tirade about how awesome this is now.
40 minutes later. Next up,
hours later.
we have Marvel United by CMON Games. This is for 1 to 4 players. It's going to last about 40 minutes. I've heard that people absolutely hate the chibi style miniatures on here, which I'm kind of sad about because I think they're adorable.
Yeah.
I think they're adorable. So, Greg, what were your first impressions of this?
Well, that was my first impression, as I was like, why did they choose this art style? And I was curious what you guys thought as far as, like, is that something that is more, like, incentivizes you to grab it, or does that detract from your excitement?
I'm going to tell you why after you guys go ahead and go. Why I think they picked that art style.
You guys ready for this?
Okay.
When I first saw this, the very first little trailer promo shot they had, I said, we are going all in on this, and I started pulling out money.
All in. Deluxe.
As soon as I saw the campaign, I was like, yeah, this is probably not a very good game. It doesn't need minis. Can I just buy the minis? I just want the stupid chibi minis. The art, I like chibis. I like the way that they did with Arcadia Quest. I like the style of chibi minis that they do. I think it's cool. I would love to actually have Iron Man and Hulk and play with it in Marvel Champions, but I want to play Marvel Champions. I don't want to play this game.
Well, I also feel like this game came out years ago. Like I'll just play Legendary. And,
but it's just matching. You're just like, oh, I'm going to get a matching arrow. If I get 3 matching arrows, I kill one of the bad guys.
So this is like a gateway game.
Yes.
You know, I mean, so it's like a with shipping and with the like $30 add-on, it's like $100 gateway game. When I'm like, I have Legendary already at home,
okay,
and I have Thanos Rising already at home, which is what this extra scenario looks like. Is just that game again.
And that's fair. It's not like I don't necessarily think it's gonna be a bad game.
I
don't
think people are just excited because it's Marvel and because it's CMON, and I don't think that's enough. It looks so, and the art even makes it more that way. Like, are they really trying to go for a gateway or maybe a family or a kid? I'm trying to figure out what they're doing
All right.
here.
So I want to read off some comments here really quick. So we have Ben that's buying it for his kids, so glad it's simple.
Yeah.
We had, well, what was it? Somebody was talking about it being, they don't like how they're gatekeeping with some of the figures and stuff like that.
Well, right, because like we were talking about that, where like if you want Drax, like I would get the Guardians of Galaxy, right? But Drax is only if you get the base pledge, is only on Kickstarter. So if I buy it later, I'll never have Drax.
Jimmy is saying trying to edge into the Funko territory, which is an interesting thought as well. So Petter says this one with Eric Lang. Oh my gosh, so many comments just went, I just missed it.
This one with Eric Lang and Marvel and Chibi, which I like. Gameplay actually looks really good and clever and ideal for your play group, which that's the real thing too, for your play group.
Yeah,
I don't think...
It looks too light.
Okay, here's what I think they're going for, guys, okay? This is what, by Spin Master as well? Spin Master Games?
Yeah.
I think
Which
they're
were-
going to try to hit mass market, Target,
Yeah.
stuff like that with this, guys.
Yeah.
Because
I'd buy this in
it's a
Target.
Marvel theme. It has cute little chibis with it. The
Sure.
play style in it is not so tough that you're looking at Arcadia Quest where you're like, all right, this is like a miniature skirmish style game. No, this is light enough that it is a entertaining Marvel themed Hasbro sort of style looking game that you could easily put into some place. And people are going to grab it off the shelves because of that look for it.
Do you think if this lands in a Target, like what's the price point going to be?
$75 for the base.
Because
Well,
like who is going to walk into a Target and buy a game like this
Somebody
thinking like,
will.
oh, my kids like these Marvel movies. I'll buy this game.
It's-
Wait, $75?
The
No,
same
no,
people
no,
who
no.
go and they buy the big Lego sets for their kids. Same people.
Really?
It might not be you, but there's definitely people that do it.
Spin Masters has their stuff in like
Now I do like
all over the place.
Their Hail Hydra, right? Which is actually a really good.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that's them, and that's a really good social deduction
There
game.
can definitely be ones.
Yeah.
Somebody had mentioned earlier that the minis are just because they're in here. There's real. The minis just denote where you're moving. So like, there's not really any
Yeah.
value to them. And
But that's what
I like the
that's what
minis.
CMON's been doing for years.
I
Is
know.
just throwing a bunch of minis in a box and
But,
selling
like,
it for $100.
For people who said like Arcadia Quest or Starcadia Quest was too light and too easy, like at least that had doors to open, objectives to go through,
Yeah.
portals. You had to like fight the other players. This is like a co-op simplified version.
STM,
simpler.
that's probably because Fantastic Four and X-Men are a different entity owned. I think the different entities own them. Fox still owns them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's all kinds of
They've
weird.
loaned out
certain
Spider-Man
things.
for certain movies and
Yeah,
all
they
that,
can't
but-
do that. So that's probably that portion of it. And then we have Stephanie who said she likes the nice clear font that's on the cards,
That's
which is
her
always
one
nice.
positive. That's her way of saying,
Calvin says they seem like they're leaning too heavily on the Marvel IP. They are definitely trying to hit mass market. I think the most of their profit comes from retail, and people are suckers for Marvel games.
Yes.
I just don't think
Because
this
I
is-
am. I'm a sucker for Marvel games. I was super into it until I started seeing how it played, and then I was just like, oh, I'm kind of turned off by it. And I'm not trying to sound super negative. It's going to be fun for people. I like Eric Lang's games. I have all of them except for this one, apparently. But I just don't think this one hits for me. I think it just seems like it's the simplest one that he's made.
Okay, so Martin says if they want to get into the mass market quick, they're going to have to jump their own game queue, since this is about 6 behind as far as like those coming out. And then I think Calvin brought up a really good one here. I think Speculate Spin Masters really designed the game and then went
Probably,
to CMON
yeah.
because they know Kickstarter and they know how to create minis, and Eric Lang could help streamline
Eric
it.
probably just developed it.
That is an excellent idea. Like,
I
I
kind of
could see
wondered
that
how much
happening.
involvement Eric had in this as well.
Right, and it's also a thing where like, CMON is not stupid. They know if they put a mini game up, they're going to make $1 million
Yeah.
every time.
Right.
And I'm not mad at them for it. I respect it.
Oh, I don't blame him for
And
putting it out.
And
but-
I've been in it. We've backed a lot of CMON Kickstarters. I just don't think the gameplay warrants the price tag this time. And that's surprising for me. I was really excited for it. I was thinking, oh, this is going to be next level. It's going to be so cool. If this is anything like Arcadia Quest with Marvel, I'm in, even though I have Arcadia Quest, and I'm out. I'm just out.
Well, here's a different question then. With the look of the chibi models and then having like the history of CMON games, did you look at this and immediately expect it to be Arcadia Quest style and then
Yes.
were immediately disappointed that it wasn't?
Yeah. I expected it to be more of like a dungeon-y crawler. Not dungeon per se, but I thought movement, like your positioning, how you move, how you work with the team. I wanted to see Hulk like throw Iron Man at somebody, but he's not. He's just gonna be like, Hulk's here, and Iron Man's gonna be like, I'm here. You wanna blast this guy? Sure.
Petter says, with play, I like chaining of actions and the play and special abilities.
And that might be good. Because I haven't played it, so I can't say that it won't be good. It just
But that's
doesn't
been
look
done
appealing
before.
to me.
This just feels like it's recycling older, probably better games, like a Legendary. There's a chaining aspect in that. It still has the Marvel IP. It's had tons of expansions. It's way more affordable because you can go buy the old boxes and stuff. And I just don't. This seems too light. This doesn't feel like it's for gamers.
Martin.
I was gonna say it's
See what
not.
Martin
It's
says?
not for.
It's not, and
gamers.
I'm not a
It's for-
cooperative
it's for-
player
yeah.
anyway. And with Legendary, you can play it fully cooperative or you can play it, where there's, you keep track of score and someone wins. So that's another option that I don't think this one has as well.
So Martin says it's not even a mini game; it's a card game with overdeveloped standees. Yes, yes,
solid,
it is.
yeah.
And
Yes,
honestly, I just want
But-
these really cool standees to play with Marvel.
Those would look great
Exactly.
on the shelf in your,
It's like when you collect like Lego minis. It's the same
I
type of thing.
still want the minis.
Yeah.
Like I still
Yeah.
want the minis, guys.
Oh, I
like,
want these. I want
Do you
to
want
take.
them for $60?
Look
is
at
the
that
question.
wasp. Look
I
at
thought
wasp.
about it.
Oh, look at Venom.
Actually,
I mean,
no, but some of these minis don't come unless you buy the extra $30 one too, right? Isn't
Yeah.
so it'd be $90, and then I checked U.S. shipping, it's $15 more. So do you want the minis $105?
I would have liked this more if it came with the Thanos as like the beginning set, not like the add-on,
not the
because
add-on.
Thanos is what's hot right now too.
Okay.
But that add-on, that whole way it looks like it plays, it really looks like that game Thanos Rising. You know, with the big mini in the middle, they're trying to stop him before they collect the rings. He's got the same henchmen. Everything here feels
Calvin's
recycled.
got a good point. When you've got 70 different heroes, how different can Captain America be than like Black Panther?
Well,
and
especially for
Moon
such a
Knight?
light game.
Yeah.
Because if they built in a lot of variability in the abilities, then it's not the light game they're going for
They did a
anymore.
really good job with that though in Arcadia Quest because they have a ton of
'Cause they have
characters
one
there.
star
Like,
character.
Arcadia
One
Quest is for
additional
gamers.
ability.
I don't think this is meant to be for gamers. I think everything's going to feel watered down and streamlined for gamers. I don't know. I haven't played it, but that's the sense that I get.
I just want the minis to play with Marvel Champions. Like I would seriously just put Captain America there, and I'd be like, Captain America is now going to be his alter ego, and I would just put it to the side, and I'd bring him back out. No, Captain America's back! Yay!
I just want the minis for when I'm in the tub, you know?
Hey, I will not. I will be honest with you. Our kid has definitely played with the Arcadia Quest ones in the tub because there's a bunch of goblins and everything. And she was there for like
Right.
2 hours. It's like, come on, Wrinkle, get out of there! Like,
Do you
like a
think it would
raisin.
do better if it was like normal Marvel art style? If it looked like the comics
some.
and the minis looked like the comics, would that help it or hurt it in the campaign?
I think it might have helped it for some because I think a lot of older people are wanting to buy this. I mean, when I say older, like our generation, right?
Yeah.
30s-ish. But this is their style. Whoever does CMON's like sculpts, this is literally what they do.
Yeah, but they also do like hate and blood rage.
That's a
and-
different. They bring somebody else in for that. You know
I
they
see
do.
what you're saying.
This is the Arcadia Quest style-ish. It's a little bit different, but it's the Arcadia Quest kind of cutesy. It's more marketable when you can be like, look at this kind of cute Iron Man versus here's Iron Man with his armor falling off and like a bloody arm, right? Like.
oh my gosh. Okay, so we have First off,
She wants to get caught up in the comments.
Andrew says, "Why does Howard the Duck look like Darkwing Duck?"
I
And
made
that's
that comment.
exactly what
That's
we
a
said.
plus.
Yeah.
That's a plus, though.
I would paint him like
Duck's awesome.
Darkwing
Yeah.
Duck.
And then
Let's get serious.
Calvin's saying, I personally feel that CMON Spin Masters didn't set expectations in advance. So he's saying the same thing that you were as far as like,
Yeah.
I wanted Arcadia Quest Marvel, you know, like that's what I was
Right.
going for. Guys, this isn't for the hobby gamer market.
But also,
It's for people getting into the hobby gamer market and for mass market. And I think I think the game in its entirety is perfectly set for that. So if you're going to get this game, you're probably going to be playing it with newer gamers
this is a
or your
gateway game.
or your kids
Yeah.
or gateway gamers. I mean, or
if it's just a calm down, relaxed game, it can be
Casual.
fun.
people who love playing cooperatively and not going head to head with somebody. This is for a very specific market that is not deep hobby gamers. Like, that's just kind of it. And they did a good job at making it that part of the market.
Can we talk about a game I want to talk? No, this is fine. I don't
And
think
by the way, all
it's
this discussion is a moot point because they're still going to make $1 million.
All right, right, exactly. Greg, would you back this?
No, I'm not in on it. I don't even like co-ops that much anyway.
DrGloryhogg, would you back this?
No, I'm out on this one, unfortunately. But if somebody wants to give me their minis,
It'll be on some discount shelf in
If it ever-
6 months,
yeah,
and you'll
I
be
could
able to buy it and
if
just
I
play
can
with
buy
the
it for
minis.
cheap and just like cannibalize the minis, I will.
Okay.
I hope it's a good game. I hope it's better than what I'm thinking because I always hope games are better than what I
Of
think.
course, you want
but
to
I'm
love
just-
everything.
I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I think that I personally am going to pass on this, but I think that it is for that very specific target market. So if you fall into those target markets,
Or
you
your
should
group does.
definitely, yeah, exactly. You should definitely back this campaign because it's going to lead people in a fun way into the hobby that is going to be easy because you can play cooperatively with them and help them along with their turns if it is needed. And it's an entity that they're familiar with, that they're going to be excited to play.
Can I just say how
Calvin
relieved?
is killing it today. Look at Calvin. He's like, don't get me wrong, this Kickstarter is going to rake in cash for CMON. from a profit standpoint, it's definitely a slam dunk. Because you got to remember, the most popular flavor of ice cream is vanilla.
Right.
And this is a vanilla game.
But see, that's what gamers are doing, is they're digging past the vanilla. Like that,
Right,
we're not
hobby
playing
gamers
Monopoly,
go-
we're not
right.
playing Clue. We're trying to
And
find...
this is better than that. But
But my point is, like, that's not what attracts us. That's not what we're looking
See,
for.
and STM says, I'm
want
backing
moose
it.
tracks.
I have many gamer-curious friends.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there's
I like
people I
that.
would definitely play this with, and I hope
curious.
somebody I know gets it so I can at least actually play it.
What a back and forth, though, from them going from, like, Tebaru, which is, like, this tabletop pad thing that's, like, we're going to play all these deep hobby games on, to, like, this Marvel United, to, like, come play this really cute game with your friends
with
and
everyone.
kids, right?
Your 6-year-old will love it.
Hey,
Can I also just say how
like
relieved I
Whiplash.
am that you guys are not all in on this thing? Because I was so prepared for you guys to be like, what's
in.
wrong with you, Greg? Why aren't you excited? And I was going to be like, sorry,
right.
it just doesn't look good to me.
One last come on question then. Do you think that
Hey, Ben.
them going back and forth like that between the hobby market and then like a mass market is going to hurt their brand overall?
No.
Or it's just going to be like, oh, they just make all the games.
No, I think it's going to help. I think that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to be a Hasbro.
Yeah.
They want to be everywhere.
Everybody
Why not?
wants to be Hasbro.
Why not be everything to the hobby gamers and everything to the non-gamers?
Here's something that CMON has that not all companies can say. You can go to a CMON Expo and play all CMON games and probably leave happy.
Yeah.
And not a lot of companies can say that, because
That's
a lot
true.
of them kind of niche and they kind of go for one thing. Come on, you can kind of go and play a bunch of different things. Everybody you go with is probably going to be happy. They're going to play something they enjoy, because there's a bunch of games that you just don't even think about that they just make.
So Jeremy says, I'm not really sure kids will even like this to play more than 3 or 5 times. It doesn't seem like the layup for families either. This is the type of game that actually I would probably end up giving my kid and be like, here, kid, go play this with your friends. Like,
well, if your kid's a really big Marvel person,
right,
then they probably will have the patience, even if they're really young, to sit and like learn the rules with you, because they'll want to play this with mom.
It becomes the mousetrap of games, because like they may or may not play the game, but they're going to play with those minis.
Yeah, they're going to play with the pieces.
They're going to play with those minis for at least 5 to 6 hours.
And
so
then never
guys,
touch them again.
5 to 6 hours of free time. That's all I'm saying.
$10 an hour, not so bad.
But I will say, you can scratch this Marvel-ish with Legendary or with...
Have you played Champions yet or no?
Which one?
Champions, the card game?
Yeah, not collectible, but yeah, I played it once.
Calvin says, come on, wants to be the Walmart of board gaming. Calvin is killing it today.
Walmart is rich. Can you blame him?
All right, guys, we're not backing that, but it sounds like a lovely game. Moving
Someday
on.
there will be a CMON store that you can go to, and they'll have like greeters, like, welcome to CMON.
That's what the expo feels like.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
It's a sea of purple.
All right, so next up we have Gorinto. This is by Grand Gamers Guild. It is for 1 to 4 players, and it lasts about 30 minutes. This is an abstract sort of tile game where you're going to be placing tiles, well, not placing, moving tiles along a board, and which tiles you move are going to give you different actions that happen during the game, and it all goes along with fire and wind happening and all these different things. Then you're going to be collecting those tiles onto your board to get points. And then the points are varied with cards on the side of the game. So, Greg, what were your first impressions of this game?
Now we're talking.
I knew you were going to like this game.
Well, it looks interesting. It looks smart. It looks well developed. It looks streamlined, but still has depth. It feels like it's going to have a lot of replayability. I'm instantly excited. And I know it's funny because it's like, it doesn't have any, it's not that pretty. It's just like
It is pretty, actually.
I mean, but I mean,
for an abstract game?
It's not what you go to for Kickstarter. It doesn't have minis. It doesn't have X Factor.
Those are mini tiles.
They haven't built in electronics into it. It's just a very simple abstract game. But
when you move it, doesn't like a skull roll down the tower or something?
But I do think it's interesting that they're like, it's not just an abstract game, but it's like a engine building abstract game. And that's one of the things that really grabbed me here, is that it feels like as you play, it's going to really escalate, and you're going to feel like in 30 minutes I really like accomplished something. I started at this base level, and I was able to kind of, fine tune my fire or whatever, and now I'm like dominating the fire, and the whole game becomes sort of setting yourself up for those big turns later on. I love games that do that well, and I think this is going to have like a great arc. Look, I haven't played it. I don't know, but that's the feeling that it comes across in this Kickstarter.
Jeremy says, I played this at PAX U, and it's really smart design.
Very glad to hear
that's
that.
super exciting.
Because Jeremy plays a lot of games.
Sounds like Calvin is not a big abstract guy, but the one he has, Santorini, is very good.
DrGloryhogg, what did you think of this?
So I'm usually not an abstract guy. I'm usually kind of out because theme is really important to me.
Right.
I think this one has enough theme with the fire versus water versus void, different things. I do like engine builders though, and that's exactly why I put this on the list, because of that engine building aspect. And if it's a game that you can play that's abstract, but you're doing it for a reason, you're not just like, oh, I'm just collecting these tiles for this reason. You're collecting them to build up, and then it's got those cool goals that are like, you only score your tiles that are like, your stacks that are like evens or that are odds, or all your stacks, you can only score the stacks that are the same height.
Public ones and private ones, which I also appreciate.
And I love that aspect of the game. So it actually looks really interesting. And if you're in on this, like, I'll happily let you back it because I'm already backing 2 others. But if you were not backing this, I'm gonna back it.
If Stephanie's in, I'm in. I'm gonna run this one past her because I think she'll really like it.
Because I am a very casual abstract gamer. Like, I'll play a couple games of it, but I'm not. It's like roll and writes. I'll play it 1 or 2 times, but it's not my go-to. Like, Greg's coming over, let's play an abstract.
If Stephanie's still on, we need comments right now.
Isn't.
We need comments right now.
She's working. I don't even know how she came on for that short amount of time. It was awesome. It was a great surprise, but.
And Pedro says this is one I'd consider if I saw it. Ooh,
she is still on.
That's good to hear. I like that.
It looks really cool to me.
So yeah, I love abstract strategy games like this. Like, this is right up my alley. This was my contender for #1 because it looks fantastic. I love the puzzle solving that you have to do whenever you're trying to figure out what moves that you got to make in order to get this, and then to fix this on your next turn, or maybe to mess somebody up on their turn and stuff and what they're trying to get.
Those goals, oh baby.
And it looks really simple to teach somebody, actually, because they have some icons on here on the side that show you what each tile does and everything. So although it's an abstract strategy game, I feel like a lot of people aren't going to be super confused going into it, because I feel that is usually the disconnect with abstract strategy games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are like, I don't understand this, but everything's clearly printed on there.
Hold on,
know?
Greg needs to talk to his wife now. She's a
No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Spatial
because
tactics.
there's certain abstract games like Glux, and there's other ones. There's ones that she's really responded to, but then like Santorini, for instance, with all the like 3D elements, she's just like, my brain just doesn't wrap my head around it.
I feel like this is more simplified, but in a good way than Santorini, though, where you're kind of bouncing around and trying to block people and put towers on. This one feels like, because you're just doing a thing, right? You're either digging, or you're going long, or you're going to go wide. I mean, and then you get to do more of that based off the engine you build for it.
Let me make a case for abstract games and games in general that lean more heavily on strategy and not on luck. I think what I like about them, what I respond to, is that feeling of matching wits with your opponent, right? You're playing some game like most of the other ones that we cover, and it's like, I think I was playing better than them, but I got some bad die rolls.
Like, if you're playing
or I got some bad card draws.
If you're playing Quacks of Quellenberg and you win, you're like, oh, cool, I won, but it's not the same as like,
It's not as satisfying as like, yes, I outsmarted, my opponent. And I love that about these kinds of games.
Is just dead. He's done. I outsmarted him. If this was a battle of wits and he had to drink poison at the end, he's drinking poison. I win.
That's what's good about a well-designed Euro too. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You really feel a sense of accomplishment
because you
instead of
that
just
1 point.
Oh, I wasted some time. I got some good die rolls. We had some fun with some theme, and we moved on. I like these games that really feel like that matching wits. And when you play them repeat times, you see hidden depth and you grow with the game and learn more strategies.
So Alan's saying that he likes games where you have to strategize your response to random events. The random events of this will be what the players are doing on their turn, right? Because they're going to mess up the board for you.
Yeah, it'll be responding to your opponent's
right? And they're going to move stuff, and you're going to be like, oh, I did not want him to move that like that.
I mean, you're going to pull new tiles out to seed the side of the board, and that will be somewhat random.
It does need a lazy Susan.
I 100% agree. It needs to spin.
If it spins, she's in.
It levitates, guys.
You need to get a job for
right?
Spin Masters, by the way, because you're all about the spin.
You guys, it levitates. That's better than spinning.
And when you bring the pieces over, they light up. No, they don't.
That would be really cool too.
They catch on fire and they like break.
Jeremy says each tile you move has a different ability, and then it builds your ability to pick up more tiles the next time.
That's what I really like in it.
And it makes you sort of specialize too as you play. You're going to want to focus on
Which
that.
means I'm going to be like, Greg is
Which
all
means
fire.
your opponents are going to try to screw you.
So I'm going to use water to mess you up.
It looks cool. It really looks slick.
Okay, and Mark says the game looks like a game I wish to have as an app too, and I 100% agree with that. I could totally see that as an app, and it would be fantastic.
So it reminds me of like Manhattan.
You know what I'd like to
also
see?
love.
I'd like to know what your opinion is on it.
What my
Sorry,
opinion?
I've been super hype, all the Gruff.
Everybody's super hype today.
Because you like abstract games more than me, so what's your
I do.
professional opinion of this, Mrs. I like Azul stained glass the most?
Well,
What's going on?
Like I said, I'm a huge fan of abstract strategy games,
Tell us more.
and I really like this one. And I like the fact that it has a lot of replayability because the goals at the end of the game are always going to be different because you have different cards that you can put out there, and you're going to be going for different things. And I feel like
That makes games.
that really makes this game, because if you had to play the same strategy game over and over, it might be fun, but you would learn a particular tactic to use for things and be like, oh, fire's really strong in the beginning, and then this is really strong at the end. But with those extra cards on there, this makes this a game that's going to have a lot of replayability to it.
You'd have to continue to think on play 10, play 20, play 30, where some of these games you kind of find a heuristic and you just win every time.
Exactly. And so for me, this seems like a long-lasting abstract strategy game.
Definitely has that potential.
And it's pretty looking too, as far as an abstract goes.
It is really pretty.
Sometimes they're just ugly. They're like, here's a stone. I'm
so
like, cool,
you're not that, you're kind of, but if
Feels
it
like-
had a Thanos mini in it, would you buy it?
No, I would actually buy it. If you weren't going to be on here today, I would have been the one arguing to buy this one.
Hold on, Stephanie says, feels like a $25 game to me, unless the tiles actually float like the video. I disagree.
That's pretty funny.
That's just because you guys get games on the cheap, okay? That's all I'm saying.
We're spoiled.
That's
So
all I'm
spoiled.
saying.
We buy used games. We got flea markets.
This $35 game for little plastic tiles that are going over stuff is a really great price for this
It's
game, guys.
reasonable. It's
Yeah.
reasonable.
And somebody else had said in there, I really want wood tiles or like ceramic ones. I
could
think
see
ceramic ones would have been amazing.
But you know
No, the
what?
plastic ones, I think they click together, like they kind of
Yeah.
fit together.
Right.
That would be
Somebody-
harder to do with ceramic.
Somebody
and wood.
will. Meeple Source will, or somebody will eventually.
Yeah, if this
upgrade the
ends up being,
tiles.
and this is Grand Gamers Guild. I don't think we brought that up before. They did like Artemis Project, which was actually a pretty solid game. So they also have like some pedigree here. Is all I'm going to say. The publisher does.
Oh yeah,
Is
definitely.
this game deluxe? You know, I didn't even look down at the
There's a
deluxe thing.
$45,
versions, yeah.
and the $45
Did I miss
version
it?
comes with a gold first player coin, and then like an upgraded standee as for something else too.
Like that big. What does that piece do? I can't remember now.
I'm not sure what it does, but
Does it
it's,
keep track of
it's
first
more
player?
like a 3D player. No,
I don't
there's
get
a
the
gold
impression
coin
you
standee.
need to go deluxe on this.
Oh, and it comes with the
What's
There we go.
What's that top thing there? It's the Gorinto season marker.
Yeah, it's the season mark. Oh, so that
Well, that
tells
just
you how
keeps
many
track of the
rounds.
rounds.
Yeah.
So the round marker, the bag is silk printed, a better box. It's kind of foily looking, I think. A gold first person starter coin, and then the dragon expansion, which the dragon expansion adds wilds. They're wilds. They can do anything.
kinda cool.
Okay, that's
But
interesting.
it's one of those things. $10 if you got it, sure, why not? If you don't,
An
then
expansion's only $10. I love this little fox
the solo
mode. This looks awesome too.
Which,
oh my
Jeremy,
goodness.
since you do a lot of solo stuff, is this something that you're gonna play solo for? Is this
Yeah,
something
and
you're gonna be doing?
I like the comment
Does it
you
have
got.
that solo mode?
You got it right. No rhythm. It's actual strategy. So every single time you play, you're gonna have to be making up a new strategy to this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to build a roll with the new objectives
All right.
and outthink your opponent.
Stephanie,
Are you in?
would you back this game?
'Cause it sounds like Greg. Are you
Because
in?
we know.
Although I will admit, it's Grand Gamers Guild. You know this will be in stores at some point as well, and it'll probably be a little cheaper. But of all the games this week, this is absolutely the one I'm most excited about. All the rest of them
Number one.
were very meh for me, but this one looks exciting.
Number one game, Stephanie. Number one.
Out of 4. I mean, to be fair.
How dare you?
4
How
games
dare
that
you?
you guys picked.
We
I'm
looked at
kidding.
a lot
But
more
Stephanie
games, okay?
dated 4 guys, and she picked you as her number 1. So 1 out of 4
No,
isn't
if
boring.
she had dated 4 guys, she probably wouldn't have picked me. That was the problem.
Well, Brad
Mark
Pitt
says-
wasn't available at the
Brad Pitt
time.
was not
Oh
available.
no, guys, my wallet.
My wallet.
DrGloryhogg, would you back this game?
Yes. I don't know if I would go deluxe, but I would
Really?
definitely back it. Yeah. I'm surprised.
You seemed
'cause
on the fence.
I'm usually out, but for me this week it was Gruff, always Gruff. And then this was my number 2 actually.
Number
I think this is
2?
gonna be really good. And that I'm partially biased because I already have a copy of Cinder here that I've played a couple times, so I'm kind of excited about the new
Yeah.
stuff, not the thing that I have a prototype version of.
That's so last
But
week.
I'm gonna still back Cinder because of the price. I can get all 3 of these games for the price of like Marvel United shipped. So I'm just saying.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna back this game, guys. This is right up my alley of games.
You hear that, Stephanie? They're gonna get it.
Yeah. Cinder is the fun one and everything, but this one is like the game that I would like want at my table all the time to play with all my gaming friends and everything.
And
Like,
with a kid who likes chess. And
oh,
your mom
absolutely.
and
Because
all kinds of
me,
people.
yeah, me and the kid play chess like a ton. We love strategy games. We love strategy games.
Alan's trying to justify the deluxe version right now.
I don't think this is one where you have to go deluxe. I I understand if you do, but I don't think it's like imperative. Some games you're
Why
like,
back and not wait for retail? That is a good
Because
question.
I want it at my house, and I want to open it before it hits retail.
Alan, that's my question every
Period.
week, honestly.
There's-
Anytime it's developed by a company that's established, why not wait and
forget
save
about
a few
it
bucks?
though. If I wait till
Okay,
retail, I
here's
forget
the
about
thing,
it.
though.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry. Can I please finish? So I forget about it if I wait for retail for one, and then also as part of our show, if we don't back it and play it, then why are we even doing this? Right? Like I want to play it.
But
For people.
I'm trying to put myself in the position of the audience and go, is this worth my dollars or can I wait?
I can't beat them, Greg, and they can't beat me.
No one can beat you.
Okay,
buddy.
guys, so here's the thing. If you are interested in a game on Kickstarter, get it on Kickstarter just for the fact that they base what they're going to purchase off of Kickstarter, and then they purchase that plus a little bit more, and they do that off of how well the Kickstarter went. If this blows up ridiculous after the fact, like something like Tainted Grail or something,
Wingspan was kind of like that. It wasn't
you're
on Kickstarter,
not
but
gonna be able to get it. So if you feel really, really invested in a game, just get it on Kickstarter. It's gonna make sure that it shows up on your doorstep before anybody else gets it. You don't have to lug it back in a bag from Gen Con or Origins or anything like that. You don't have to hunt down a copy of it on BGG because you didn't get your hands on it at the time. Like, it may be a little bit more risky because you are not 100% sure if you're going to enjoy the game. However, you gotta choose. You gotta choose whether
can
you
never
want
be
it.
sure.
Yeah, exactly. Whether
I'm
you
never
want
sure
it.
a movie I go watch is going to be good. Half the time
Right,
there
right.
does.
You know, like, you really have to make that decision if you're going to wait for it and then possibly miss it, or if you're going to get it now and you may not like it. Maybe you'll give it to somebody else or something like that.
I realized since I didn't go to the theaters a lot last year, I missed every single nominee for the Oscars.
Oh,
I haven't seen
yeah.
a single one of them.
Yeah.
Now,
9 good movies.
most of them are on Vudu, and I'm going to watch them now. But
Yeah.
but since listening to your show, I haven't actually watched any of
But
them.
you know
they're
what?
all
That's
on my
actually
list.
a really good point because part of what's fun about seeing the movies as they come out is being on social media and being part of the conversation. And when the Oscars happen, you're excited because you've seen everything. And I think gaming is the same way. Like
Yep.
the timing of when you play a game
That community.
affects your enjoyment of it.
Yes.
And plugging into
Gone,
the community.
Sean Clever.
Like
You're
we
playing
got
Gone,
the
Sean
crew
Clever
really
today?
early, and we've played it a bunch now, and other people are just starting to get it. It's like we jumped the gun and
Yeah.
like, we're too early. You know what I
Wingspan.
mean?
That's
Wingspan
another-
was like that for us. We played Wingspan probably 15 times, and people are still bringing it to conventions, and they're
Yeah.
excited, and they've got full groups for it and stuff. But I'm just like,
You're like, that's an old game now.
we played 15 times before it was like released.
Yeah,
release.
that's another
We
huge
played it
thing.
too many times.
And if you're
now.
late, like with you with the movies, then it's kind of like, well, this was fine, but
Right.
I missed out on the community
It's like watching
of it.
Sopranos 10 years later. Was
Yeah.
it still a good show? Yeah, but
Right.
like, did I miss out on all the excitement of like, did you see what happened last week?
Exactly.
I did.
Yeah, your
Exactly.
involvement in the community will definitely help determine that a little bit as well. And plus, like I said, I like having it delivered to my personal doorstep. Like, I'm like a princess about that. Like, I don't want to have to chase down a game somewhere. Like, just give me my game. Like, deliver it
You're
to my
willing
door.
to pay a little bit of a premium
Yeah,
to get like a
absolutely.
premium result, which
Get
is
it a little bit
boom,
earlier.
right there on your step.
Get
right
some
away.
exclusives.
There's some really
like,
good comments
stuff like
I don't want
that.
to miss out. So we did check out Genotype, and then we both said we'd back that
Yeah,
one.
we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
We've done Wonderland's War was last week. We haven't talked about Conan, Batman, or Aeon's End. It really just, a lot of it depends on timing because we can only talk about so many.
Well, Aeon's End's like, is it a reprint or an expansion?
No,
or
it's a
something?
standalone.
Is it a new standalone?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a standalone,
okay.
1 to 4
I
player.
know you guys
deck
usually
builder.
don't do. You don't usually do remake.
Yeah,
or
we typically
reprints
don't
and
do if
stuff
it's
as
just
well.
a reprint. Like there's another really
Right.
big game that's $1 million, but it's just a straight up reprint.
Well, and I want to know what you guys are actually backing this week because Petter is saying that they're backing Marvel United this week. So what are you guys backing?
That's
fair.
You know, we're going to be backing Cinder and then Gorinto and then Greg.
Gorinto's the one that
yeah,
I'm interested in.
and Gruff. That's right. Wow, 3 of them. Dang, this is
But those 3
Cinder's
are cheaper.
probably my number 2.
get wrecked this week.
Those 3 are all cheaper than like one Marvel United, so I'm okay with that. I
That's
thought I
true.
was going to be buying all 4. I actually told her before we played the show, I'm like, "You ready to buy 4 Kickstarters this week?" And she was like, "No," and I was like, "All right." But I actually talked myself out of Marvel United.
Really?
But I think I'm going to back Gruff. Gruff is one of those ones that I would back 2 or 3 times if that was what would make it fun.
Well, and I'm always interested to hear what you guys are backing in the comments and stuff like that and leaving those for me because sometimes, I mean, this community is so large now, sometimes you
Weaver.
miss out on some things.
Right,
you
and
know?
timing-wise, sometimes there's these campaigns that happen that are like, they do like a short campaign, and there's nothing we can do.
I
We'll be
can't
at
talk
a
about it.
convention.
Yeah.
Like, there's games that I would definitely, we backed that like, oh, she's at a convention, we don't have time to do it, it won't fall into the regular schedule, but we try to bring you as many games as we possibly can, and hopefully ones like Gruff that you had no idea were even out there because it just wasn't marketed to you.
Jeremy's saying, I'm backing Card Weaver. I'm going to have to take a look at that one. I have not seen that one yet.
And I have a feeling we'll talk about Batman, the animated series game, because it's, I mean, I'm a big fan of Batman, the animated series. I've watched like all of that.
John's backing Testament. Battle Cries just looked at the Batman playthrough on Dice Tower. I didn't see the Batman playthrough on the Dice Tower yet.
But that one came at a time where we'd already
that.
locked these ones in.
We were looking at that one though, so maybe next week or something. If it's still up, we'll have to take a look. I'm excited about it. Backed Enchanters.
Yeah, that was another good one.
All right.
That was mythic.
So, we're going to be, well, I'm going to be at PAX East next week, guys. So if you guys end up at PAX East, make sure to come.
Yeah.
It is next week already. I leave on Tuesday.
You're
like, I leave Tuesday and I'm like, see you guys. Like, I'll be gone for a week.
I'll be at Dice Tower West, so if you're there.
That's right. And you're going to Dice Tower West. So if you guys...
me and Stephanie are going to play Gorinto.
You have a copy already?
No, but I
could mock one up.
So I could get your wife and maybe Alex together and maybe Game Boy Geek if he's not going. And we could all play Cinder.
Use the Azul chips and make your own.
We could all play Cinder and live stream that while you guys are off in your fancy conventions.
So if you guys are at those conventions or in the area, make sure to stop by and say hi to us. I'll be at the Skybound booth. Greg will just be wandering around the hall. That's right.
Playing games. Which is a weird thing to do.
And make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this show, okay, guys?
Send it to your friends.
And ring the bell.
So they can hear about how much we did not want Marvel United this week and make them mad.
We're definitely in the minority. I mean, people are so pumped
People are
about
very
it.
pumped about it, yeah. And
all over social media.
I'm going to get a message from Derek Funkhauser after this about it, I'm sure, because he backed it.
Where can we find you at?
Hooked on Geek, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, new episodes every other week. Me and my wife, Stephanie, who's in the chat, talking about games, talking about game-related topics, and other things we're geeking out about. Yeah, movies, books.
DrGloryhogg, where can we find you at?
Best way to find me is Gloryhoundd Presents Facebook, YouTube. I'm all over that.
And, you know, we love having you guys in your comments in the channel. You guys make this show so amazing. We are so excited to have you guys here. So thank you for everybody that came down today and chatted with us. Like, the comments were super hot.
Thanks for bringing your hot opinions, because that was good.
I know. I love it. I love it. And, like, you guys are killing it today.
My boy Petter reading Rune Lords.
And look at Petter's, like, Rune Lord's book is so good. That was another DrGloryhogg rant. Like, when you get passionate, people are like, oh my God, like, so passionately intense.
Because we see a lot of stuff, and I can only get so passionate, right? There's only a few things I love. Rune Lords, my wife, magic, and Gruff.
Hold on. Rune Lords, my wife.
That wasn't in order, necessarily.
I never put it in order, because it just breaks people's hearts.
No. I'm further down than magic, aren't I? I know it. I know it.
I would quit magic for you. But not
online. Thank you so much, guys. We are going to do, what playthroughs are we going to do?
We are doing Space Explorers on Monday at 6 p.m., which is done by 25th Century Games, and we are doing a Greenbrier game. We're doing that Sunday at 2, and that one is Helios Expanse, which maybe you guys haven't seen that one yet.
So make sure to stay tuned for those, guys. We will do those later in the week, and we will see you guys all next week. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.